Am I an idiot for being upset that my husband used my bonus on his gaming addiction? My husband, 28 male, and I, 27 female, have been married about 4 years now. We dated in college and got married after. He finished college with a finance degree and thought he would go into accounting. Well, he quickly found out that was not his passion. So he bounced around jobs and ideas, business, teacher, lawyer, but nothing really kept him saying this is what I want to do. This was pre-pandemic. Since COVID he has not attempted anything. He says after the pandemic there will be a boom in jobs and he can find something that he's passionate about. I have been working full-time and thankfully my job became remote and pays the bills while keeping food on the table. Incident in question: after the fiscal year closed my work had done really well. We were selling medical testing equipment, so it was a big product of 2020. I was given a promotion. I got a little pay raise and a small bonus. I was really excited because I could finally repair my purse and replace my shoes. My friend's puppy destroyed it, but I acknowledge I should not have left my purse on a low stool in front of the puppy's bed. So my fault. I was so excited to tell my husband, but he seemed more excited than me over this promotion. He started going off how he could redo his game area and get the new systems since he was tired of his others, and I was dumbfounded. I got really quiet because I almost could not believe what he was saying. He eventually goes out and gets himself a new system, chair, and mouse. He had basically spent my bonus. I was so upset and ultimately hurt and numb. We ended up getting into an argument and he called me selfish for not being happy that he got to achieve his dream, and I am spoiled for being upset that I couldn't spend this money on me first. I basically called him an ungrateful idiot and asked why he deserves new stuff when I have been providing. He got really quiet on that one and stormed out saying he would be staying with his family, only about an hour away. I have been getting angry calls and texts due to the fact he didn't feel supported in his own home, and if I am making the money I can get whatever I want when I want, and I shouldn't throw it in his face. He doesn't have an income, which is not true. I'm trying to keep a roof over our head and food on the table. All his friends and family think I way overreacted to something that makes my husband happy, and that the next time we get a large sum of money my husband said he would let me repair my purse. I haven't responded and don't think I will for a few days, but I have gotten so many "you're such a witch and an idiot" I am starting to wonder if I really am. Summary: husband is bored with his game system stuff, so he used my bonus and raise to buy him a new one without my permission, and when I got upset I was labeled selfish and unsupportive. Am I the idiot? Update: wow, thank you everyone. I was not expecting this kind of support. I appreciate all the kind messages and compassion. This is more than I have ever felt in my life, so thank you Reddit. I took the weekend to reflect on what I want and read through the comments and messages. I see your point and that I can't keep treating this like a marriage if he doesn't. So here's to today and my first step towards freedom. I am separating the finances immediately and contacting a local lawyer to see my options and rights, as well as therapy options for him. I will present this to him and he gets to choose. But I refuse to have a baby at almost 30 years old. If he wants that, well, he has his mother. Thank you everyone. I will try to update in the future. Hello Reddit. It has been a couple months since my last post and so much has happened. I first want to thank everyone who reached out and snapped me out of this days with my soon-to-be ex. He was extremely toxic and just made me feel not even worth anything. Thus probably why it was so hard to see he wasn't it. So I want to thank everyone who offered words of encouragement and even tough love. I needed to hear it. After he went back to his parents he was waiting for my apology, which I never did. And when he noticed I drained our joint bank he escalated, saying I was his and how I could never actually leave him and that he owned me. All of my success was his and without him I would a loser drop out. His family was even worse because I had already blocked them, so they started making fake accounts and using apps to hide their number to harass me, saying I ruined their son's life and how he sacrificed everything to get me where I am, to throw him to the side like this was disgusting and I deserved to rot. I provided all this to my lawyer, who recommended I take a restraining order in case he wanted to escalate further, and to not engage ever but just keep the records. This has caused my anxiety to go through the roof and I am working on this with my therapist. I have separated the finances completely and changed my banks, even told them my ex is never allowed to access these accounts because he would take it all and run. I have changed my number and gone completely social media less. Besides this, part of me is broken that our marriage came to end over a computer. I keep thinking I am stupid and how I couldn't see the warning signs. I must look like a fool to everyone. All in all, I'm slowly picking up the pieces of my life and figuring out how to move forward. Thank you to anyone still reading this, and thank you everyone who helped me get here. Summary: I am officially filing for divorce after I never apologized to him, which only made my soon-to-be ex-husband and his family start harassing me to the nth degree. I was having a panic attack every time the phone rang, so I had to change my number and delete any social media. I am gaining my freedom from my toxic partner and his family. Not an idiot. Your marriage didn't come to an end because of a computer. It came to an end because of your soul. That just happened to be the final straw that opened your eyes to the reality of your relationship. I know this hurts, but it will get better. Not an idiot. This man is abusive and his family stupid. Hooray for you, Opus, you took the right decision. Now a whole new life of happiness and cool people is coming to you. Don't be sad to divorce, and learn from your mistakes. You will be so much better at judging people and selecting the good ones to be part of your life. Keep up the good work. Take absolute care of you and don't listen to these idiots. Do you think the wife took it too far? Let me know in the comments. Now, you won't want to miss the next story. Am I an idiot for not telling my fiancé I used to work as an escort? I, a female 35, just got engaged. I've been with him for 2 years and he's amazing and I think he'd be a great father to my children. There is however a secret I haven't revealed. About 3 years ago before I met him I briefly worked as an escort. It wasn't long, about 4 months, and I don't have some sob story about how I felt abused and exploited because frankly I didn't. Like any job, it had its good and bad parts. I don't have some dramatic story about escaping it. I stopped simply because I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't require therapy or rehab. I just moved on and got a normal job. I have been regularly tested and have no STIs, nor do I have any emotional scars from it. So I told myself it's now no one else's business because it won't impact any other relationships. However, it feels wrong I can't share this. He once asked how many sexual partners I had and I simply said a lot and told him technically the truth, that I was prolific at one point in my life but no longer am and don't intend to do so. I'm still scared to potentially ruin a great thing if I reveal it, but I'm also not looking forward to keeping this a secret for life. Am I an idiot for keeping it secret? Update. So I thought of what everyone said and considered both sides. I decided that I didn't want this hanging over my head in our marriage. So it was tough. But shortly afterwards one night I had a few glasses of wine and told him I had something I needed to talk about. I had considered seducing him, having sex and then telling him so I could at least do it one last time, but decided that would be manipulative and dishonest. So I sat down and told him. When I said I had a lot of sexual partners, it was over a stint of about 4 months as an escort. He was taken back a bit and said that's not something I'd expect. I figured no one would. I dress modestly, I'm pretty conservative with drinking, and I volunteer with the kids programs at my church. I had tears in my eyes and asked him if his opinion of me had changed. He said, well, what you did didn't stop you from being the woman I fell in love with, so why should it? I started crying more, tears of joy. I begged him to let me know if he had any apprehensions or questions or if it had come between us in any way. He said he might have questions about any cool or sexy stories sometime, but for now, no. He even made a quip about no wonder you blow my mind in having sex, you were a professional. Not really the type of joke I'd normally appreciate, but in that time it was perfect. And we ended up going to the bedroom not too much later. So now I feel like a huge weight has been lifted and I know just how much my fiancé loves me and what he's willing to tolerate in me. It's wonderful. We're both in lockdown basically now, both working from home, and I'm so thankful to be able to be with a wonderful and amazing man who I love so much and who loves me so much. Thanks to everyone. Not an idiot. I used to live in New Orleans. I worked on the river and the company I worked for had an apartment in the quarter that we could stay in on our 2 weeks off. I was one of the few single guys and so I basically lived there for a year. I met this really amazing woman at the French restaurant that was across from Café du Monde. We talked, walked around a lot, had lunch and dinner later in the day and then to the burlesque show. I felt that the connection had been made, so I invited her to the apartment for some wine. She said she had to tell me something first, and that is when she told me she was an escort. She was certain that would end it. We dated whenever I was in town for 9 months. She still worked, she was safe and showed me regular checkups. I never caught anything, and to this day it is one of my former relationships that still makes me smile inside. Would you tell your significant other? Now for the next story. Would I be an idiot if I sue myself for stealing my book and making a huge profit from it? I, female 24, write as a hobby, and I like sharing my short stories with my small following. I do want to publish one day, but I want to make it perfect first since it's not edited yet. The unfinished book we're talking about came from an idea that I started to build when I was in middle school. I just finished it last year, but because of the virus, I was forced to put that project aside to ensure steady employment with my day job. My brother and sister-in-law came to visit me to introduce their baby daughter about 6 months ago. My sister-in-law just thrusted her baby into my arms even though I lack even the barest knowledge on how to hold a baby. The baby was fussy and my brother helped calm her down while my sister-in-law said she wanted to use the bathroom to pump breast milk. They left later and I didn't think anything of it until recently when I was told my sister-in-law had published a book, and it had been a while since she published. Self-publish is not as time-consuming as traditional publishing. I don't doubt my sister-in-law's intelligence because she is a smart woman, but I've always heard how she dislikes books because they're boring and drags on. I wanted to show my support and brought a copy only to realize it's way too similar to mine. I compared it to my copy of unpublished work. It's obvious it's been edited and proofread for fluidity and clarity. I was angry and I admit I overreacted by confronting her over the phone. She said my screaming was upsetting her and hung up on me. It was a back and forth battle with phone numbers to get to the truth. By this time, my parents and her parents are involved. Little update on the apology, it's not out. She said she needed more time to prepare her emotional state and she's overworked with their child, but she'll let me know when I can have the apology. After speaking with my pre-law friend, I decided to go the legal route. I reiterated my compromise with my sister-in-law and my brother, but he has fully taken her side. My parents warned me that I'd be disowned and I'd be dead to them if I'm willing to stoop so low. I hired a lawyer and gave all the details on my side. My lawyer said she needs my unedited manuscript for the book and my sister-in-law's published book along with the copy my sister-in-law sent to have it proofread and edited. Because the published book has different parts changed, my lawyer needs the unedited version which my sister-in-law should still have in the transaction she did with her editor and proofreader. We took the risk to ask my sister-in-law for the unedited copy she sent to her editor and proofreader despite the chance of having her feign I don't remember their names, I don't have their contacts anymore, I don't want to, etc. I told my sister-in-law that we will go through the route of having to use third-party notarization to ensure no foul play on either part. Have one individual look at my unedited manuscript and the one she sent to her hired editor plus proofreader. Once I told her that, she must have realized I was not bluffing. Sister-in-law and my brother accepted the compromise. I take the pseudonym, the royalties, with evidence of sold copies. I stipulated that my sister-in-law must put a message out to her followers on her blog that she stole from me and not a single word in the book is hers. I thank the Redditors for suggesting that. She is clearly pissed off and disgusted with me for doing this to my own family. I threatened her with further legal proceedings if she doesn't do it. No lawsuit happened, but I'm glad I got a professional option just in case. As words got back to my parents of what I did and how dare I get a lawyer to punish my sister-in-law because her blog followers will surely lose trust in her in future revenue. I told them and my parents that if they have anything to say, use my business email. I'm done with them. They treated an outsider, sister-in-law, 1 month into dating my brother, better than they ever did to me. I don't need that negativity dragging me down. I'm happier, more free with my opinions, and I don't have to feel the need to compete with everything my sister-in-law does just to get my parents to love me a little more than a daughter in name. I have my friends. They've always been more of a family unit to me than my biological ones. I knew I was going to lose something coming out of this, but I didn't expect I'd be okay with the disappointment and hurt. Thank you, everyone. And no, I will not be telling anyone what the name of the book is because I only came here to get a moral judgment and update everyone on what happened. Please don't think I'm using this for clout. The book will not be promoted on Reddit. Not then, not now, and not in the future either. Not an idiot. Massive congrats on not letting anyone take advantage of you. I'm so glad to hear that you were able to reclaim something you made, and it sounds like it was a long process. It sucks that you had to go no contact with your family, but you will be stronger for it. Best wishes for the future and any more books you may write.